Carlow's a great place to start this week because just chatting to some people down there, and first of all, the St. Mullins manager Niall O'Donnell, after the way they beat Ballyhale after extra time there against Mount Leinster this Sunday, but he said it's taken unmerciful energy out of us now. That's the one thing. So this county final that's coming on a bit too fast for us. Probably the one winner there is Mount Leinster Rangers there, I'd imagine. So poor Mountain, because you had to go to extra time a week before the final. What do you think of that?
So you have to paint it whatever way you think to paint it. Like, everything is about a cause almost, like it's trying to set it up to put yourself in the best situation. Mount Leinster, while in theory to some people Mount Leinster are sitting pretty waiting, I don't know if waiting is ever a good thing. There's no practice matches and training will never get you prepared for. They had an absolute dogfight of a match last week. The only thing that matters is that they came through that. Doesn't matter, and nothing else matters. All the energy expended, they're in the county final, exactly where they wanted to be. But sure, poor Mountain is what the chase is all about.
But far more of a concern is something that's ongoing as we speak. There's an appeal in to try and get Jack Kavanagh off from a red card and a suspension that he got. Now, he's gotten plenty of red cards over the years, so I don't know if that will count into it. But Conor Phelan is training Mount Leinster Rangers. He's from Clara, and I don't know if people remember him, but he did that interview when Clara won the Kilkenny title in 2013.
He
really
came on as a late kind of sub that day.
Very, very emotional sort of an interview because he had to give up hurling for a number of years. Now, he would have been on the under-21 team, I think, with the likes of Tommy Walsh and all these lads coming up. And he won an under-21 All-Ireland. He had a senior medal with Kilkenny from 2003.
He was probably slated for a decade-long career probably with Kilkenny.
And no doubt All-Irelands and All-Stars to wash it down, But he had to have surgery on a defective heart valve in 2014, told he would never hurl again, came back again in 2016 as a sub against Ballyhale in the semi-final. But he had, I think that issue kind of first came up around 2005 after Noel Hickey. He'd had that heart issue.
They all got screened as part of the GPA had brought it in, I think, and Kenny got them all screened.
And that's where Conor Phelan had his issue diagnosed, and so he had to give up hurling. So when he got back and got that county title in 2013, he was kind of choking back the tears in the interview. So it was great stuff. But Mount Leinster, they have had some amount of success lately, and they're going for 3 in a row at senior as they're transitioning the team. But this year they've won the under 13, under 15. They're in the under 11 and intermediate finals on Saturday, and the minor on Sunday, and obviously the senior on Sunday.
Funny, same colours. It sounds exactly like Ballygunner. Ballygunner are playing the intermediate final this weekend. Their second team, in the intermediate final. But funny enough, when Birr were going really well, Birr did 3 in a row of intermediate titles.
Wow.
While winning senior, and you had to regrade 7 every year. So from the 99 team, 7 of them couldn't play in 2000, and likewise
couldn't play in that intermediate team.
No, couldn't play the following year, because obviously otherwise it's just the same team every year, and directly the same team could win. So 7 were regraded again from 2000 to 2001. Now some of them would have naturally come back, but for those clubs to be doing that, I know they might have maybe better numbers than some of the rural teams, but it's a fair achievement.
Unreal. And you see that, I saw it in Dublin, Ballyboden's second team when they were winning all those county titles. Very, very strong. I think the last couple of years Cuala went from 2 adult teams and the second one could barely field up to 4. So, and obviously Dublin's a different case.
So just Kilcormac Killarney in Offaly would be a great example. Won the Junior B, were beaten in the Junior A final, retained Senior B status, and we beat them in the senior semi-final. That's 4 teams, and there's so much jiggery pokery with lads as well to make sure lads are still eligible and stuff like that. So it's fair going.
Some of the matchups for this game. So St. Mullins have a lot of threats. The likes of James Doyle, very good. Marty Kavanagh, everyone knows about him. Mouse Kavanagh doing a lot of scoring for Carlow.
Just a quick one. Did Marty Kavanagh get an All-Star nomination? I don't think he did.
I don't think so. Catching me on the hop there as well.
There's another one I was only thinking about the other day.
We're flaking away at the All-Star committee every week.
Just Marty Kavanagh, I saw him just deliver some serious league performance, serious championship performance. So.
Paul Doyle is on that team, Philip Connors. Seamus Murphy will be playing centre forward against Richard Cody, who'll be centre back for Mount Leinster. That's definitely an important one. Eddie Byrne will be full forward for Mount Leinster, and he'll be up against Paul Doyle. So that's 2 county men. And then midfield, assuming Jack Kavanagh gets off, it's a battle of 4 county players for Carlow. So you're going to have James Doyle and Jack Kavanagh on one side, and then Kevin MacDonald and Diarmuid Byrne on the other. So
the funny thing about this is, I remember chatting Marty Kavanagh before. He has a ball of cousins playing for Mount Leinster. The amount of cousins crossing over here is just unbelievable. I think it's Marty Kavanagh's mother, I think, is from Mount Leinster, and they're all the best friends and teammates with playing with Carlow. They basically are brothers essentially. They're all related, and then they're the best of enemies then when they play each other in big games.
The Cork final this weekend, I love the subplot because Glen Rovers against Imokilly, but last year Glen Rovers brought through a motion at the county board meeting to disband or to kick out basically divisional teams, which Imokilly are, because Imokilly are now going for a 3 in a row. Like, no one's ever seen a divisional team like this. I think it's like, do you know the traditional teams in Cork? Bars, Blackrock, who am I not thinking of there? There's only a few teams have done the 3 in a row. Who is it? Bars, Blackrock, the Glen. Anyway, but they're unbeaten in 18 championship games in Imokilly. I saw Owen Cormacan writing about this. They have an average winning margin of 9 points, and no side since August 2016 has beaten them. Only Carbery and Avandu are the other divisions to ever win. So I see Kevin Fennelly tweeting in that with O'Neill's and Cloyne entering the new Senior A division next year, the Imokilly team that started a semi-final versus Bars would lose 4 starters entering next year. But that's a fair subplot. If you're an Imokilly player, to be going into this final saying, these Glen lads were actually trying to eliminate us from existence because they couldn't beat us.
Yeah, and it's a funny one. It's, as we've talked about before, it's only a problem when things are going well. It's only a problem when you're winning. It was only a problem with UCC, it was only a problem with Thomond back in the day, and it was only a problem with UCD when they were winning. And
do you know when Thomond won that All-Ireland, the 1978, wasn't it? The Limerick crowd that won
that. was on the team, wasn't he?
I don't think there was any Limerick player on it.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, but it's funny, like it's a fair effort to pull a divisional side together, because you have to remember, like, they all hate each other outside. They all hate each other outside of playing with each other with Imokilly. They're all rival clubs. All those parish rivalries and all those even inter-parish rivalries, they're huge. Like, so it's a fair effort regardless of talent. You could put, like, we could pick a team now, the 15 players put together to try and beat Dublin. But it's on paper it's great, like, but you have all these other different things going on, you know, within that team, and it's going to be the same with that team as well. So it is a fair effort, but they have a fair. if any cause was needed, the Glen make sure to give them a cause anyway.
Are there some teams out there that are effectively doing what Imokilly are doing, which is pulling players from different areas, except they're honest enough to give the club a different name? There's club teams out there who are picking guys from 30-40 kilometres away from the dislocated parish rule. I don't want to name names now because, you know, you'll end up in trouble.
Parish rules all over the place in certain places.
Yeah, there's a load of places where,
Walford,
like, Ballyhale pick up a Clondegad's Gary Brennan and have him playing with them even though he's miles away.
Yeah, so, that's right, yeah. They'll have a couple more. Like, Waterford is all over the place. There's no parish rule in Waterford. There's no parish rule in Kilkenny. You have three city clubs, same as you have in Waterford. It's mad. It's all over the place.
So it's Glen Rovers' most consistent run of county finals in 40 years, like 4 finals in 6 years. And Patrick Horgan wouldn't exactly be shooting the lights out. Now, I wonder, is that partly down to, let's say, the conditions when they played the quarterfinal that was on telly against, I think it was Newtown Chandram, was it?
Yeah.
Terrible day. Now, he missed the penalty, but, like, he did the right thing in terms of slapping it onto the ground and trying to skid it in, but it just seemed to slow up. They beat Carricktuhil, who were underwhelming underdogs in the semi-final, and they, like Charleville, who only came up through the intermediate, they needed extra time to beat them.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of struggle to make a case for Glen Rovers to win.
The thing is, they're there. It doesn't really matter. They're there. I was actually only thinking about it because I was down at the Waterford final last Sunday, and I was thinking about Ballygunner. They won their Waterford County final last year. They scraped over Middleton. Defeated Cork finalists. They beat Ballyhale in extra time. They were big underdogs going into the Munster final. Delivered when it mattered most. Delivered in the final, and they won handy enough against the Birr that day. The only thing that matters for the Glen is that they're there. And the only Patrick Horgan's, I always say it to lads, like, your performance is, anything that happened up into this is completely forgotten. If Patrick Horgan shoots the lights out, which he could well do on Sunday, that's the only performance that anybody's going to remember. And if he does, they have a great chance of winning.
Yeah. Is there a weird dynamic because they know they're in Munster? It's not their last game of the season, no matter what.
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of it until you said it. Yeah, it is a strange one. Yeah,
like, it must affect you because you're at your best. Well, you should be at your best when it's do or die. Like, there's a title there that they absolutely want, but there's a sort of a, you know, there's a second chance there.
Yeah, no, it is a strange kind of demographic. Yeah, and they would have they were in a Munster final only a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah, they beat Patrick's well along the way, didn't they?
And we're disappointed in it. So they'd love it. They have another crack at Munster now, but.
Well,
they'd find it very hard if they were going in not champions.
Like Declan Dalton, Seamus Harnedy, Paddy O'Sullivan, Jerry Mellerick. There's a lot of quality on this Imokilly team. I'd say I'm just about going to lean for them to do the 3 in a row. The Laois final is on this weekend. Borris-Ileigh against Rathdowney Earl. So I previewed this with Shane Keegan, who's based in the area. So check out that video. It's on OurGame there. But Rathdowney Earl, they seem to be pairing Ross King and Paddy Purcell, arguably Laois's 2 best players up in the full forward line. I think the one worry for them is, can they get the ball in enough? Because both of them could play midfield if you like.
Yeah.
And on the other side, can Borris-Ileigh get enough ball into PJ Scully?
Yeah, we played Rathdowney not too long ago, and it was weird. I know what Patrick Purcell can do, but he wasn't on the ball. Like, he was kind of just ghosting around, but didn't really get any ball.
But when he gets the ball on the shoulder with space to run into, like, I would see him being more effective like that, rather than collecting the ball with the back to goals going the wrong direction.
I'd agree with you. Yeah, I think he should be out around the middle of the field and should be like, if he gets the ball in his hand, he's unbelievable. If he gets the ball in his hand, I should say, going towards the goal, he's unbelievably dangerous. But he can be peripheral at times. For them to win, he's going to need to be central. Ross King as well is inside. Like actually, Jack Nolan put up a video of the goal from behind the goal. It's just an outrageous finish from Notton. It's going to be an interesting final. Borris-Ileigh have only won 1 to the best of my knowledge, and that was a couple of years ago when they beat Rathdowney, and Patrick Purcell went off injured the same day as well.
Right.
There's going to be very, very little in it. Laois it's kind of jigged around every couple of years between them all. They're all very, very competitive, and anybody can win it on a given year. But as you said, PJ Scully, I think it was 17 points in the semi-final, which is ridiculous. Which is savage going against Ballyhale. So it's going to be an interesting final. Very, very difficult to call.
The Offaly final is on this weekend. Now, you're involved. Birr against St. Rynagh's. Now I have a staunch Birr man against me, against Rynagh's, who won it 3 years ago, I believe.
Beat us in the final.
So you, as the spokesman of Birr, how do you think you see this game going?
I think it's every game takes on a life of its own. You know,
do you think will it be a massive battle?
It'll be a massive battle, ferocious battle, massive intensity.
You're great friends off the field, though.
I'm sure aren't all neighbouring clubs great friends off the field. Great respect amongst the 2 clubs, and looking forward to a good, healthy competition.
You'd be flaking each other. Like, from people I've spoken to, and obviously you're not going to comment on this, but if Rynagh's can shut down Owen Cahill, the Offaly goalkeeper who plays wing forward and scored 9 points in the semi-final, you'll be under a small bit of pressure. Ken Hogan, he manages Rynagh's, and he of course managed your club to success before.
Yeah, Ken was coach while still playing with Tipperary at the time. He won All-Ireland in 91 actually, with Tipp, and coached Birr to win the first Offaly title in 20 years, I think, and then Leinster title where they beat Ballyhale, an aging Ballyhale team, and they beat Michael Tormer in the final, and he was only a young man at the time.
Yeah, that's fair going. A little birdie tells me that there was talk that at the start of the year that he was linked with Birr, which I'm sure you're not going to comment on, but sure, how could he say no to a blue and gold jersey with Rynagh's being from the blue and gold himself? This is a fair sweet combo. Right, so we'll move on to the Dublin final is on this weekend, but you might as well take over from there, because you work away your own little thing there.
Yeah, no, as I said, I hadn't too much to say in the Offaly final, and you have actually zero to say about the Dublin final. Cuala and St. Bridget's. Cuala overwhelming favourites. You're not going to comment, obviously, and you can't at the moment, but Cuala are favourites to win the All-Ireland at the moment. Willie Maher it's been a seamless transition from Matty Kenny to Willie Maher, and Bridget's will be massive underdogs in this. It's very hard to make a case for it. Cuala have put up massive defeats against, who is it, Crokes, and even in the semi-final then against, was it Nafina in the semi-final? You can comment on who you beat, like.
It was St. Vincent's.
Vincent, sorry, yeah. So it's very hard. It's very hard to make a case for St. Bridget's without being smart. I thought it was very smart the last day to play Con centre forward, and because it just means the team is preparing for him full forward. Probably has a sweeper in front of the full forward. He plays centre forward, hits 5 points. Mark Schutte shoots the lights out inside. It's way too many questions for Bridget's to answer.
The Tipperary semi-final.
Nicely done.
Tipperary finals are on this weekend. It's all about the North, as we keep talking about, which is great to see.
The North.
We want that county title back in the North. First time since '72 that all 4 semi-finalists are from the North. So it's going to be Nina against Killadangan and Borris-Ileigh against Killarwan. So just to give the context going into this, Nina hammered Ogan Carty Donahill in the semi-final or quarter-final, 4-15 to 1-8. Killadangan saw off Toomevara 3-12 to 1-12. Borris-Ileigh beat Drum 3-11 to 18, and Killarwan beat Clonoulty 123 to 110. Now during that game, Niall O'Mara got sent off. I'd say it was injury time. There's an appeal ongoing, and I think that's to be heard on Thursday evening to see if he'll be available.
I love the way it all drags on. It'll drag on to the last minute. It's a wonder they don't have it on like Saturday night.
Yeah, why not?
Primetime TV.
Wasn't it like Lee Keegan got off to play in one of the All-Irelands or one of the semi-finals against Dublin the night before?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was it even Diarmuid Connolly got off the night before?
Yeah, the replay was on the Saturday, wasn't it? He got off the Friday at 2 in the morning or something like that.
Right, so we'll look at Nina against Killadangan first. They're like a 10-minute drive from each other. They know each other well. Nina, they've been in 3 finals since 2013. They've lost them all into different teams. Lockmore, SARS, Clonoulty. Probably feel like they should have one on the board now, having not won one since 1995. Now, Killadangan, they're only ever in one final. That was in 2016, and they lost by 9 points to Thurles.
It was never a game, really.
Not really. Now, Thurles were more or less battering everyone at the time, and did do for a number of years. But I think the key here is, can Nina get enough ball into Mikey Heffernan and Jake Morris, who'll probably be on the inside line? Because if you get enough good ball in there, you're going to be under awful pressure.
Yeah, I was at last year's county final, and Mikey Heffernan hardly got puck out, but on switch against Clonoulty, and Jake Morris was off colour the same day, so they are going to struggle. Jake Morris just does look a different player anytime I've seen him since the under-21 semi-final, and then coming on, since the Munster final where he got the goal at the end, and then
under-20,
his form is just kind of snowballing. He just had that confidence, he had that swagger. You felt when he came on the field for Tipperary, you felt he was going to score, you felt he was going to do something, and he did, and he was outstanding for the under-20s after. So shutting him down would be massive for Killadangan. But they have the players. They have a serious Killadangan have a serious squad. Well, seriously balanced squad, because
most teams that go on and win a lot of county titles, they have, county star after county star. They have some really good players, and I have the match programme here, and if you just, like Barry Hogan, he'd be on the Tipp panel as a goalkeeper. Alan Flynn, centre back, he was in and out of the Tipp team this year. Willie Connors was an impact sub used often. But after that, you have Billy Seymour, who was like brilliant in the under-20 championship this year. But people outside of Tipperary probably wouldn't really have heard of any of the other players after that. For Nina, their goalkeeper young goalkeeper Shane Hennessy did his cruciate again, so he's gone. That means there's a bit of a return to the old school. Mickey Mack's going to be in goals. Hugh Maloney's back there in the last month or so.
Very good, yeah.
And he's back involved, yeah. A couple of the matchups that'll probably materialise here. Barry Heffernan, who obviously played for Tipp this year, maybe go on Joe Gallagher. Willie Connors will probably be centre forward, and Dara Quinn, who was in the Tipp panel there in the last year or more. Will Tommy Heffernan go at centre forward for Nina, and what does that do for Alan Flynn? Does he have to follow him if he starts getting a few scores? A couple of interesting things in terms of the managers. Sean Tracy from Portumna, he's the manager of Killadangan, but the joint managers for Nina are John Brennan and Noel Maloney, both who were players last year.
Noel Maloney,
so he was
young, like he's only 33, 34.
Yeah, so he would have been fullback last year in the final. John Brennan, stalwart for many, many years, and he would have played in a number of the games last year. And I know him too. He was actually up here in Dublin for one night. He teaches in the same school as my brother, and he was looking to see was there a pair of shoes going spare, and I said, what size? Size 9. And I said, no, I only have them in a man's size, unfortunately.
Like Joey and friends, size 7 shoes.
But very hard one to call. Like Killadangan, such a balanced team. Nina just probably have a little bit more star power up front. I really, really can't call it. But just to look at some of the top scorers, Hurler on the Ditch had them up. The top scorers from play in the championship are Billy Seymour, then Ty Gallagher, who's Killadangan. Both of those lads are Killadangan. Then Conor Kenny, Borris-Ileigh, Paul Flynn, Killadangan. So 3 of the top scorers are from that club. And also Joe Gallagher's in there, and like one of the next. So you have a couple of Borris-Ileigh lads, James Devaney, Conor Kenny, and Conor Cleary of Killarwan in there. So it's interesting that so many Killarwan lads are up near the top of the scoring charts, and this is of the guys that are still in the senior championship.
Yeah, that's going to be an really interesting semi-final, Borris-Ileigh and Killarwan. I think, like, obviously you have a vested interest been born and raised in Borris-Ileigh, but the battle between your brother Paddy and Buggy O'Mara, who was absolutely flying the other day and is an unbelievable handful at club level, is going to be very, very interesting. Like, if they'd been able to keep Buggy fit and involved with Tipp, he would have. Remember, he started 2000. Would I be right in saying that he started against Cork in 2010? In the first game, that Munster semi-final, he's definitely started a big. I think it was.
He definitely had a few games in 2012 and possibly 2013. And the thing I liked about him at the time, I remember counting up the amount of Tipp players who ran at their man. Remember that time that Kilkenny beat Tipp by 18 points, 2012, and every Kilkenny man, every time he got the ball, turned and ran at his man. Test your man, see if he likes it. Buggy O'Mara was the only lad who got the ball and ran at the opposition, and that's what he's doing in the club. And I saw them against Clonalty last week.
He's in good shape.
He's in good shape. Like, he's a big, massive, burly man, and if a ball goes into him, it tends to stick. The question then for Borris-Ileigh is that conundrum between Brendan Maher will obviously want to sweep from centre back and protect whoever's in the full back line, but Cian Darcy, who would have been on the under-21 All-Ireland winning team in 2018, he'll want to be flitting around in front of him, picking off scores. If he's not marked, he'll do untold damage. So that is the conundrum. And do Borris-Ileigh drop back a man marker on him to free up Brendan? And does that mean that they're short a guy further up? Being honest, most teams play with two men inside anyway. So you're going to fill the middle.
Yeah.
Irrespective.
Nearly every game I'm watching now or even been involved in, there's a sweeper at various stages. That's just the way it is. Like.
Well, you'd be very silly to leave 1-on-1 or 2v2 back in your own half of the field, especially if there's space in front of it. It's very condensed. Okay, you might give it a go, but not like that. It's the clash of the two most recent All-Ireland club winners from Tipperary.
How many times do you reckon you've mentioned that Borris-Ileigh won a club title? We've won 4 in Birr, and I don't bring it up every pod we do.
Look, you're tempted to. But like, it is mad that no Tipp team has won it since. But
and to be fair, no, have Tipp been in a final hardly since?
Tumivara were in the 90s. They collapsed against some team from Galway. Was it Sarsfield?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no in the last. Since 2000, since the millennium, has a Tipp team been in a final?
Not in a final, no.
Thurles were the only team to have won the province, I would say, outside of...
and they lost that semi-final to Kilcormac.
Yeah.
Very poor performance that day. But neither Borris-Ileigh...
So basically, like, your performances at club level nationally have been absolutely appalling.
I'm not going to argue at that point. I don't really have a leg to stand on there. But what I'd say is neither Killarwan nor Borris-Ileigh, since they won their All-Irelands, have won a county title.
That's right, yeah.
Neither of them have,
which
is very mad. I think there's a good spine to the Borris-Ileigh team. Paddy at full back, Brendan Maher, Dan McCormick, Connor and Niall Kenny have a bit of power in the half forward line. Then the inside line, there's a lot of pace and trickery, and people wouldn't really know Jerry Kelly, but he's another lad who'll die with his boots on in there. Killarwan, built like an inter-county team as far as I'm concerned. Really, really athletic, fast, good hurlers all the way up and down the field. Jerome Cahill came off injured against Clonalty in the first half, so I don't know if he can be right in the space for a week. I wouldn't think so if it's a hamstring. Will Niall O'Mara get off? Like, he's arguably their best player. Sometimes a county man gets off on an appeal, and maybe he deserves to get off anyway. We saw that tweet from Killarwan that they were very confident. Eamon O'Shea is walking the sideline with them. No harm to have that influence there either.
It just seems to be a figure that just seems to inspire people. Do you know what I mean? I remember chatting to Brendan Cummins about Eamon O'Shea, and he just said when we'd see him on the field, it was just like, you felt like, geez, I need to do it for him or whatever, almost. He just wanted to, like, and he had the humility to go around wearing like a Marish kit for the whole year this year. And to go back again with his club after being there last year as well and having a busy year, and the fact that he's commuting from Galway for training the whole time as well, it's fairly phenomenal.
Well, Killarwan is up on the north side of it, so that you'd imagine it makes it a slight bit easier. That's not to say the commitment isn't brilliant, but I do wonder would first of all, Craig Morgan, the under-20 captain this year, wonder would he go on James Devaney and try and quieten him because he was so good the last day. The other thing about Killarwan, which I said earlier in the week, is they've so many ball winners in that half forward line with Conor Cleary, Thomas Cleary, Cian O'Kelly, obviously Buggy O'Mara. I wonder would Borris-Ileigh look at bringing in horses for courses. Kieran Cohen is a very big man, Thomas Fahey's a very big man, and maybe swap out some of the guys who are also hurling well but maybe wouldn't be the same physical stature. So
this time of the year, winning primary ball is just, if you're losing primary ball, it's a killer for you.
Are you saying throw in a few dogs?
Possibly, yeah.
Even the lads that are starting are good players. I just wonder, like, it's purely a horses for courses thing. The Kilkenny Championship this weekend. So we know that James Stephens are in the final already, but because of weather delays and other issues, the other semi-final between Ballyhale and O'Loughlin's is going on this weekend. So O'Loughlin's beat Mullinavat after a replay, 114 to 13 points, and it was like a late point from Mark Bergen from 68 or from 85 metres that sealed that one. Ballyhale beat Clara, came from something like 7 points behind to win 119 to 17 points. TJ Reid with as little as 114. And like Kieran Joyce, former Kilkenny player, roared in a Stieg, he said to KCLR, when you have the likes of TJ scoring 112, no matter what team TJ is on, you're going to be probably favourites, I suppose, to a certain extent. So yeah, look, O'Loughlin's won't fear either. They've been here and they've done it before as well. I suppose based on experience and maybe the number of years O'Loughlin's have lost, number of players O'Loughlin's have lost in the last couple of years, the likes of Brian Hogan and that, gone. Ballyhale probably have to be the stronger panel and the stronger experience. So Ballyhale favourites. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very... Just the fact that O'Loughlin's needed 2 games to get... Mullinavat are a good side, but the fact that they needed 2 games to go over them. Ballyhale, the last day was probably the day to beat them. I think I think as things go on, and Michael Verney coming back now, I just think as things go on, they're going to get harder to get. You saw it last year. You kind of were thinking, just Ballyhale, they're not going that well, and then they just keep delivering performances until they blew Thomas away in the All-Ireland final.
And to be honest, in the second half, blew away Ballygunner.
Yeah, to be honest with you, this is a massive game, because if Ballyhale get over this, it could easily be like, I don't know if they're on opposite sides of the draw, it could easily be a Ballyhale Cuala Leinster final. If they don't get over this, then the Kilkenny
Birr would be in the way.
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
but it's just they just need to get through this. But it's not going to be simple. No, it's going to be a tough game to call.
Yeah, there's not too much word about Hugh Lawler, or certainly I wasn't able to find any word. You'd like to have him full back to mark Colin Fennelly, and then think maybe could we put Paddy Deegan and hope for the best on TJ Reid.
Well, it's about 3 or 4 weeks since it happened. I think it was his hand. So like you're looking at 6 weeks minimum. So depends. Like, and if he were to come back early, he's probably jeopardising next year, or early parts of next year as well. So it'd be interesting to see, but you can't afford to be without someone like that. When you have Colin Fennelly, Adrian Mullen and TJ all in the forward line, you need your best lads. Paddy Deegan will, I'd imagine, pick up one of them, and if Hugh was there, he'd pick up one of the others, probably Colin, but it'd be a massive loss.
Yeah, it's hard going. Like O'Loughlin Gales have a very good forward line, very nippy, great movement, good scorers up there. And I'd say if you were to say where Ballyhale weaker of the places, their strengths are probably more in the forward line than the back line, even though Joey Holden is playing very well.
Yeah, probably you'd have to say the backs is, if you're going to get, they'll put up a big score, but they might concede a relatively big score as well. There's
a replay in the Meath hurling final this weekend between Kildare and Kiltale. So it was 113 apiece the last day, which doesn't necessarily sound like a classic. Kildare were ahead for most of the game. Paddy Keneally scored 7 points, but Mark O'Sullivan got sent off on 2 yellow cards, so that didn't help them. And Jack Regan scored 1-6 for Kiltale. So I'd say Kiltale possibly feel like they missed their chance.
Yeah, probably. But when you have Jack Regan to me was the best hurler in the Christy Ring this year when Meath won the Christy Ring. And when you have someone like that at this time of the year, he scored 1-6 the last day, you could easily put up 9 or 10 points. You're going to be in with a great shout. They're probably still underdogs and maybe might have missed their chance. But when you have someone like that, you're giving yourself a very good chance. There's probably not going to be too much between it again, but you'd have to probably favour Kildare, I'd say.
Yeah, the Westmeath final is also on this weekend. Clonkill against Castletown Gagan. You had an outing against Clonkill not so long ago.
Yeah, we played them last Friday. Owen Price, who missed a lot, nearly all of the year with Westmeath, he ruptured his Achilles. And he got back, actually.
It's a hard one to get back from.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because if you lose that springiness in your Achilles, the pace tends to go.
He definitely hasn't, because it finishes lots of athletes' careers, particularly high jumpers, long jumpers, that type of thing, because you lose your spring. He came on against us the other night, so I'd imagine he's going to feature. He was moving fairly well. They have Niall Mitchell, obviously, who'll be one of the better Westmeath players. He's plays wing forward, kind of drifts back the field, picks up an awful lot of ball, tries to pull the half back out. Brendan Murtaugh's full forward and still so dangerous. And like he's just actually selector with Westmeath next year as well. So he'd probably be selecting plenty of his teammates. But he's still really, really dangerous. P. Kelly from Tullamore won a county title with Tullamore in 2009 as a player. He's involved with Clonkill. Castletown Gagan,
Angus Clark is
he's
classy
top
enough player.
class. They won it 2 years ago. Clonkill have won it, I think it was 11, 12, 15 and 18. Yeah.
So they've been running the show between them.
Yeah, pretty much, and you throw Harney into the mix there as well. So there's not going to be much in it either way. I probably would favour Clonkill, to be honest with you, just to have maybe that just a bit more experience in recent years, and the likes of Murta, the likes of Owen Price, they're kind of old dogs for the hard road. They seem to just be able to pull it out when it matters most.
Carrick are against Cloonan Imont in the Leitrim final this weekend at Park Sean.
Imont is the Irish word for hurling. Just in case you didn't know it, you pronounced it like it was like some sort of really foreign thing that we've never heard before. Imont, that's hurling.
Oh, you're a fluent Irish speaker now, yeah. You went and did a few classes. Yeah, you did a few classes, and now you're Billy Big Balls in around here, aren't you? Right, so Carrick beat Cloonan last year, and they're hoping, like the latter are trying to avoid a third final defeat in a row. They did win it in 2016, but it becomes a thing if you lose 3 in a row. I think people start to question you a little bit, and maybe even kind of have a few snide comments at you.
Yeah, we talked about Castleratton in the football in Cavan. They had lost 3 in a row and then eventually got over the line. Didn't get over the line again last week. But Carrick are a bit of a force now at this stage. Carrick went and was probably very surprising last year to beat Ballyhale from Galway in the Connacht Junior final. I know it's Leitrim senior champions going into the Connacht Junior, but they still won the Connacht Junior, beaten by Castleblaney. Another stronghold, obviously, Monaghan, in the All-Ireland semi-final by a point. So they'll want to get back to that kind of place again. And they have that bit of experience where they know it's not just Leitrim titles that they're aiming for now. They're probably looking at a Connacht Junior and possibly a Junior All-Ireland. So you'd have to have them as favourites.
Right, so that's it for Club Talk Hurling this weekend. If there's any stories we missed, please let us know. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube by clicking on that button just there.